Okay, here's the third sit and go that I've recorded today. Just usual, played it pretty tight. I've got, jumping right into it, I've got ace queen second hand, big blind. Very, very dependent on what the table does here. There's no sort of set play. If they were, you can't know if they're passive or not yet. This guy raises up 7 times the big blind, so I'm throwing it away. Like, I've got no idea what this guy's raising with. It's a big raise out of position, and I'm just screwed, so I fold that away. I got ace jack on the cutoff. That's pretty good. I've already seen quite a bit of action. Um, it's 4 or 5 hands in. I know the guy directly to my left now is pretty wild. The guy to my right is pretty loose, but we'll see how this goes. Raised up to 150. Take it down. Gets down to the end of level 3, and I've only played those 2 hands. Had a lot of junk. The table's been pretty tight. I get ace jack on the cutoff again, raise it up again, and get a caller. So that's good. These guys have been very tight. All right, flop the ace, and I feel really good. This guy's been playing kind of wide. Check it to try to trap. No action. Just give it a bit of a over half pot. He goes away. So that's fine. This table's been pretty wild, but just no real action. A lot of people have been raising it up pre, but we haven't had all the chips go to one person yet. Some people have been raising and then being stolen on shoves. We're getting a few of these multi-way pots, but everybody's turning quite limp once the flop comes out. Nobody's really trying to get too aggressive to take it down. But that's fine. These guys are too loose pre-flop, so I know it should thin them out eventually. So I'm just waiting for a hand. This is the reason I threw away the threes. I don't know what sort of rubbish they're going to call me with pre-flop, but even if they call me with junk, I'm still coin flipping with threes, and that's not really what I want to do, especially since I think I've got an edge on this table since they're so loose pre, and all the chips. A bunch of the chips have consolidated with the guy to my left who's sort of playing cash game taggy, so he's not opening up with a lot of hands, but when he does, he's sort of shoving them in. So I'm just going to sit and wait. I feel fine about this dynamic, so I'm just waiting for a hand. So people have been shoving most hands. Small stacks have been shoving and winning. The money's just been moving around. Nobody's really getting popped out, but the blinds are quite high. So Jack King in good position. I raise it up when I get a shove. It's not what I want, but it's pretty clear cut. I have to call here. He had queens, I caught a king, so that's good. At least this gets me a chip stack that at least sort of keeps me out of the worst of it for a little while. So yeah, it gives me time to always tighten back up and wait for another hand. So that's good. I get really lucky here. The guy to my right is a bit of a donkey, doesn't really know what he's doing, so he limps to complete. He lets me flop a 9, and of course he shoves with anything. So that was really good. Obviously the right decision for him there would have been to open shove, and I would have folded. But yeah, this is the reason. The guy had no clue. This guy shoved. It's late enough that, and I've got the stack. I'm calling this thing day and night. As expected, coin flip, and I win, so my luck's sort of looking up, and now I've got a stack that actually puts me up there, so you can see that there's a lot of action happening now. Guys are getting knocked out. I got an ace-9, not much else I can really do here, so I flat it. This guy gets it in, and I can't really fold. sorry, I can fold because I know this guy's from playing about 10 SNGs with him. He's not totally donkish. Like I would have been coin flipping against him at best. He was either pocket pairs or AX. His AX might have been better, might have been worse, but I didn't feel like I really needed to get involved. I'd only put in one blind, so I was happy to get out there. Here is a classic tournament thing. This guy's shoved over the top, and I fold away my ace-8. If his stack was smaller, I would have called him, but I didn't really think there was a point. Plus, I've seen him play, and he's been super tight all this time. I don't think he was pushing because he felt desperate. I think he probably would have just had a better ace than me. I think I was way behind there, so that's why I'm happy to fold that. Here I get nines. Everything goes sort of according to plan. I raise it up. No point in me shoving over the top. Gets folded. Ace queen. Raise it up. Sometimes you get this rush of good hands. This really helps me boost my stack back up, and puts a lot of pressure on everybody else. I went quite some time not catching a hand and just letting these guys shove against each other. They were afraid enough that they weren't always trying to steal from me, but now it's getting to the point where even having the bigger stack doesn't really put you anywhere. You got to start stealing. So it gets to the point where K high, a nice looking king is more than good enough to shove with. There's a bunch you can fold around. The bubble people are tight, but it really is just time for me to start loosening up. If this guy shoves, I'm calling for sure. And there we go. Also, something that you didn't say earlier on, when I was a really big stack and I knew the guy to the left of me was quite tight, I was pretty much stealing his big blind every single time. 3 or 4 rounds in a row when it came around. As folded around with me on the small and him on the big, I would just min raise it, knowing that he would throw it away, and that actually probably saved the tournament for me because it allowed me to go those 4 rounds without getting blinded out at all, while these guys had to risk shoving their stack time and time again. So now it's just getting into sort of 3-handed in the money play. Not much. You really just loosen up a little from the bubble. There's not a whole lot more to do here. There's a lot of hands that you've got to fold away. Anything, say, for me, King 5, King 6 and better, I like to think I'll play any Broadway, I'll play anything K5 and up. So I get lucky here, I get a rush of cards, rush of aces, which is really nice. So that stacks me straight back up. He shoves, I call, catch a really nice board, and now it's this guy and I. Heads up, King 10, obviously I jam that. This is just heads up play. I think I'm a little leaky here, but let's see how it feels watching it again. Queen Jack, I'll push that. But sometimes there's a big question there because if he calls me with any KX, he's ahead, as he does. So I question actually pushing any Broadway. Maybe I should wait for K better. I get it in all right here, but he hits. That happens. Fold away the 5. Yeah, not much I can really do. Just hope for. Yeah, well there you go. Aces would have been useful 2 hands ago, but alright, so that doubles me up. Sort of puts me back in the game. Only to have me fold around. Jack 10, I don't have time to be waiting for better hands now.